everyone, and welcome to the PunchCast, Episode 9. I am your host, Evan, and with me this week is Kevin.
What's up?
And Liam.
Alright.
Just a couple of Brits hanging out, enjoying the sun.
Well, you are essentially a Brit because of the hours that you work and the sleep. Yeah.
I live on that time scale. I'm straight up GMT or whatever.
But it's Evan and Kevin who I can always rely on to always be up at the same time that I am. If I've got like a question about stuff or about a game or about the site or about anything, they're up. So, yes, you are a Brit.
Honorary, yeah.
Yeah, honorary.
It is the kind of second week after E3. Everything has settled down. The dust has settled. And we are slipping slowly into the summer drought of nothing. So we're all just kind of trying to play a lot of games and hang out and chat and get sunburns and be real people in the outside world, as scary as it is out there. But Kev, what have you been up to lately?
Enjoying my summer, I guess. Lots of working again.
That's not true, Kevin, because you've just taken on a second job. So there's no sun for you at all, ever.
No, I mean, I ride my bike to work and then, cause Jimmy John's is like maybe 10 minutes away, like a bike ride. So super nice bike ride there and back.
I miss doing that.
Yeah, it's super nice.
Does it get hot over there?
Yeah, I don't know, cause I work in, Jimmy John's isn't really a kitchen, but now since I work in two kitchens where it's like 90 degrees in the kitchen, I don't think it's that hot out normally now. Like, my brother's always like, oh, it's 90 out, it's so hot, and I have shorts, but then I have like a sweatshirt on, and I'm like, it's fine, I don't see the good ideal.
Why do you do that? Sweatshirt?
Yeah, it's nice and comfy. I don't know, I'm just...
It's some sort of security blanket.
This is it.
Yeah.
I don't know what he means by a sweatshirt. That sounds like...
A hoodie.
A hoodie, right. Just say a hoodie. That's fine. Because that kind of describes, what it is. A sweatshirt. You sweat in a shirt? I don't.
Yeah, it's probably an American thing.
I don't know why
it totally
picked that up.
Sweatshirts, it's just not a very nice thing to call an item of clothing. Sweat? It's weird. It's weird.
I don't know. Because I guess a sweatshirt is one without a hood, I guess, which is like what dads wear.
So I've always said that was like a sweater.
A sweater and a sweatshirt are
But
different,
even
though.
then, just call it a jumper, which actually, if I think about it, I mean, you don't jump in it in...
When you say jumper, I think of like the baby thing, where it's got like the kind of elastic...
I thought a jumper is like what Katy Perry wears.
Oh.
No.
Is that what that is? Like kind of the shorts and like shirt combo?
Yeah, you know what
A jumper is a sweater, is like... made of wool and shit, the thing that you wear to make you warm. So
wool. That's just a sweater. Why did you attach jumper to that as well?
Well, that's it. Well, I think both names don't make sense. You don't jump in it, and ideally you don't want to be sweating in it. You want to be keeping yourself warm, but not too warm. It isn't to the excess of sweat. I'm sorry. I have completely sent us sideways on a tangent. Kevin, I'm sorry.
Why is the Katy Perry thing called a jumper then? Why do we have...
I don't know, because like I thought a jumper was like that weird kind of pantsuity dress thing, right?
Oh, it's not a dress though. I thought it was just shorts.
I don't know what you're talking about here.
Oh, see, a jumper in American English, or informally pinafore in British English.
Here we go. I got it.
Is a sleeveless, collarless dress intended to be worn over a blouse, shirt, or sweater.
Oh,
Okay.
I see that.
That's what I think
of
when you say
right
jumper.
now.
Yeah.
And then it says, in British English, the term jumper describes what is called a sweater in American English.
There we go. See,
I've never heard somebody say pinafore. That's a new word for me.
Yeah, that's also a new word for me. But no, I mean, like, I've seen the word before. I just didn't know what it meant. Pinafore. There we go.
Apparently, in my world, it refers to an apron, and then
that's what I thought it was. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm terribly confused now.
And then we also see a gym slip. Is that a word over there?
Nope.
What? That's what it says. It says a British pinafore worn as athletic wear or school uniform.
What the hell is a gym slip? This is fascinating shit. I'm just sorry.
And then we have a sarafan, which is a Russian jumper women wear when in tall grass or more often farming.
I can see it now. Yeah, I can see it on my computer. Anyway, I'm so sorry.
Well, then what am I thinking of with the shorts and the shirt combo?
I don't know.
Because that's not this.
No, you've just confused the whole issue now.
Anyways, Kev, what were we saying?
Kev, please, yes.
Yeah, so a lot of work now. Shitty part is my car is, I think, Dunzo. So
haven't you had that for like ages now?
it's been like 6 years, but it's a 1988, so it's pretty old.
Damn, it's older than me.
And I think now because I think the clutch went out, so I think at this point the repairs would be not really worth it compared to like fixing something for
just
like
throw it away now.
Yeah. I'll just
Sell it to buy more games?
yeah.
That's
it.
a thing. That's a thing. For an Xbox, which you don't have anymore because you had to sell that in. So just you don't need a car, essentially, because as with all, just ride your bike everywhere. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine right now since it's summer, which is, the good part.
Just wait till the winter when there's like 2 feet of snow and you can't
just
ride a bike.
wear a sweater. See?
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
learning.
But yeah, so I ride my bike there, and then I guess I'll be riding my bike. It's a little bit further, probably like half an hour to my other job, but it'll still be nice. It'll be
Where's this
nice
other
little
job
bike
at?
ride.
What is it? Like an Olive Garden or something?
I work in a kitchen.
Just a
So.
kitchen. Like, are you cooking or cleaning? What is
I'm doing salads and pastas, so
Okay, so you're like a prep. You're like a line prep.
yeah, like general cooking / prep. So
Hey, you're the guy that says like the actual chef's like, I'm doing something. You make this Caesar salad.
I tried that once. I tried to do what Kev did once in a kitchen. Well, I'm quite clumsy, and I tried to cut the tomatoes, and I cut my fingers instead. But I didn't know because they started to bleed and started to mix in with the tomato. And it was only when I handed them over to the chef, he was like, "What the fuck is this? It's blood." And I was like, "What?" And yeah, because you don't immediately feel the pain at first. And then when I saw it, I was like, "Oh shit!" And I had proper cut up all my fingers. So that was my first and only attempt at being a prep artist thing.
You could have been like arrested for like assault with a deadly weapon for that year.
What? No, but it was assault on me, so it's fine, right?
No, I'm saying like I'm pretty sure that you can almost get charged with assault or something, or like attempted something if you like feed somebody blood like that because it's dangerous.
Oh yes, totally. I would have got in trouble, and that's why I didn't stay with that job very well. It's like no, whatever.
You just probably just suck at cooking if you're cutting your hands like.
Oh no, I do. Yeah, I cook quite a lot of things in the microwave. That's. But even then, I kind of put in foil when you shouldn't be, a metal when you shouldn't, and I've caused quite a few fires, like just little kind of small ones. It's just a thing. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you put styrofoam in there and then it burns, and then your house is just the worst smell
At least once a year, I'll have like a big act, and like the other week, it was a popcorn. It was in the bag, and you kind of are meant to open it up after a while. I forgot about it. It just kind of happens, and then it just a black smoke everywhere.
You
all
burn
downstairs.
popcorn?
Well, because it was in the bag. It's one of those where you put it in.
Yeah, it's
bag,
like the
in the
threefold bag, right?
Yeah, exactly. But you're supposed to take it out after it stops popping, and I just was upstairs,
you just
didn't
left
hear
it
about it, and it just kind of.
You don't like put it on for like 3.5 minutes, and then just like that's good, and then you walk away.
Oh,
like you
no,
just like indefinitely turn the microwave on.
I put it on for 10 minutes by accident.
Oh my god!
oh yeah,
10 minutes.
That'll do it. That
will do it, and it.
How's that by accident? You either get 10, 100, or 1 out of that. And
I was meant to stand by there and wait for it to stop popping, but instead I got distracted and went upstairs. It just happens, Evan. All right, God. Anyway, don't cook. I'm sorry, Kevin. Right, Jesus, what have you been playing?
I'm trying to think, because there's been a couple things since we didn't have a proper podcast.
Oh, there's been loads.
Hold on. Tell me about a semblance, because I don't know anything about that, and you guys both like that.
Yeah, so Semblance, we have a special fireside chat me and Liam did last week about Semblance, which is by this brand new studio. The lead of the studio worked with Bungie and did some stuff with Condemned. I know one of the other guys did a lot of the lore stuff for Destiny as well. Then they got this really great composer. So essentially it is a first-person, narrative-driven kind of psychological horror game where you are going like through this memory machine, and it's inspired by stuff like X-Files, which is obviously why I got real excited for it when they first announced it. But stuff like X-Files, Black Mirror, and Twilight Zone. So it's a very short kind of best way to describe it. It's like a puzzle box type of game where as you go, you kind of like learn these rules about how like this memory machine works, and you're trying to progress through it to figure out what is going on with these memories. And it's an interesting little game. It has some not so great roadblocks towards the end because there's kind of in the same vein of PT of people trying to discover like the true ending and figure out some secrets. There's some stuff like that at the very end of A Semblance, which kind of, I don't know, it goes for, like, are you trying to build up a game for, like, a very tiny community of people, or do you want it to, like, appeal to a little bit of a wider audience, and I think it veered a little bit too far towards like the hardcore. But it's a great little experience. I gave it an 8 on our non-existent ground punch scale, but it's a great little game, and I know they said that it's supposed to be a series. I don't know if that means, we talked about it a little bit on that episode. Hopefully we get like 2 more episodes. Would probably be nice to have like a little trilogy, but who knows? They haven't really said kind of what they plan. So it's a great little game though. It's $10, so it's definitely worth it. I think John Murray, there's your mention of Weekly. John for the podcast. Yep. He'll be playing it for one of his spooky Sundays at some point. So.
Oh, really? Because it's not that it's not that spooky.
Oh, no, wait. Never mind. I'm talking about Layers of Fear. Never mind. That's what I was telling him to play.
Oh, Layers of Fear. Yes. Yeah, that's true. Which is creepy. No, if he was to stream a semblance, I think it would just drive everyone mad, and like just it's really creepy and unsettling at times. But it isn't like a scare fest at all. It's just one of those things that, you know, when you turn it off, maybe it might be a bit scary because you're like, that was a bit disturbing. Yeah, that was a fine little game. Glad I didn't pay for it actually, though. No, that sounds horrible. It's just there was for me, I was kind of really into it. Like Kev said, that at a certain point you have to start investigating online as to what to do, and there is something to be said about enjoying a game in person, and then you get a sort of slightly different experience when you have to watch the end on a YouTube or something. Like there is something lost there. So yeah, it's just one of those. But yeah, awesome.
Yeah, because like the ending part, Liam, like to get to the white shift, you have to go into like
which
the apartment.
I mean, sorry, Evan, you won't know what we're talking about, but just carry on, Kevin, just for a second.
Yeah, but yeah, you have to walk in. You have to stay like. It's all timing because they got like timestamp codes off of like Reddit or something.
That's right. I kind of saw the images. Yeah,
but you have to like go in. You wait until like the clock turns like a minute, and you open the drawer, and then you go into the bedroom and you look at like the hole in the wall. But you have to do it at the exact time, or else it does not work. And it took me quite a few tries to do it. So it's like,
no, that sounds like bullshit. That sounds like bullshit. Yeah.
That's where those roadblocks come in, where it's like, I would have never figured that out on my own. Like, even the people, like the guy who did it initially, I don't think he did it on purpose.
Right.
At least, like, entirely. But obviously, like, once the rest of the community found out and they kind of worked out the fine details, it became a little bit easier. But it's like, unless I played the game for like 50 hours and I kind of came across by chance and really investigated, I would have never.
It's that weird thing of it being a puzzle game, but kind of mostly a story-focused game as well. So if you're the type of player who likes to take it easy and we're just going to open some drawers and get some stuff out and we're going to have a good old read of this material, you're not probably the same type of player who's like really on point with being here at this time and doing it in this order and doing it really fast and having like sharp reflexes almost to get this thing done. So it's a weird thing. Anyway, I know Evan hasn't played it. We did a whole show on it, I guess. But yeah, it was good anyway.
I might give it a go. I didn't even know it was a thing until you guys started talking about it.
Yeah, because it was only a thing. They showed off the trailer for it about 6 weeks before it launched, Kev, and that was it, really. I didn't know it was a thing either until Kev said, hey, look, X-Files thing. Yay.
Yep, it popped up on PlayStation blog. They were like, hey, we have a new game coming out in, like you said, 6 months. It got delayed by a couple weeks, so it's closer, I think, to 2 months. But, just one of those, like, smaller games that came out. I know it's definitely a different game. It is not for everyone. It isn't. It's not like Outlast horror where, you're going in for jump scares, that sort of thing. But
no.
It's a very smartly done game. And kind of like I said, I'm super excited to see where they go because they followed like what the community playing through their game. And I'm 100% sure they are going to be looking at all the stuff and all the feedback from the community in kind of their next episode to see, what worked, what didn't work, and presumably, the next episode will be a tighter experience, so at least hopefully.
Yep, it's on Steam. I added it to my wish list, so.
That's not the only puzzle game, though, Kev, you've been playing, is it?
How many puzzle games can one man play?
Well, I'm playing, not that it's a better...
Puzzletron 9000.
Not that it's necessarily a better game. It is the third one in the series of the 999/Virtue series, so I am playing Zero Time Dilemma on PlayStation Vita. Yeah, it does. There's
legit games coming out for that.
Yeah, there's a couple. I mean, it's still obviously it's dead. It's not gonna explode, but there's still a lot of decent stuff coming out on it.
Yeah, I think it's dead if you, for whatever reason, don't like games from Japan or with that overly Japanese sort of a flair, then it's kind of dead to you. But yeah,
I don't think it's necessarily dead, right? Because things still come out for it. It's still pretty rad.
Like almost every single week there is a new game out for it. Yeah,
it is just not this like emerging thing anymore.
No, certainly not.
It's definitely like on the downward trend.
Bandai and like NIS America are going to put out games forever on this thing, and that's pretty much it.
That's cool though, because those games I like.
But yeah, so Zero Time Dilemma for
it's like a visual novel, right, for the most part?
Yes and no, because there are like a bunch of like puzzle mechanics, and the best way to describe it, I have a buddy who has never played them, and the way he described it is like an anime version of Saw, which is pretty apt description. Yeah.
Yes, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Except like it has like this super interesting kind of like time travel mechanic, but not time travel. I won't go into it like without spoiling stuff, because I know 999 you can play pretty much I think anywhere. I think they even have a version on iOS where I want to say like they added like a timeline where you can jump around and
they did.
Fix
that is indeed correct. Yes.
Yeah. And then Virtue's Last Reward is if you have a Vita, it was just on sale. Hopefully it still is. And then the newest one just came out, and they are great games. I'm super enjoying it. Super challenging puzzles. If you do play them, definitely use a guide only if you absolutely are banging your head against a wall, because there are some super smart puzzles. Some of them do take a while. Like I was banging my head against the wall trying to do one earlier, but there are a multitude of like different, I don't know, it's hard to describe. There are puzzles of every kind of variety in the game, like word puzzles. There's just tons of puzzles, and I love that. It's like kind of like a brain teaser game, while also having like a really interesting and engaging story. The new one looks great. It runs amazing on Vita. Looking back at some videos, I watched a recap, just to remind myself, because it's been a couple, I want to say like 2012 or 13 is when Virtue's Last Reward came out, or I played, something like that, I want to say. So I watched a video, and the graphics, it looks great. It reminds me of D4. I think that's what it was called on Xbox One.
Oh, that Xbox One game, the episodic thing, yeah.
Dark Dreams Don't Die.
It wasn't episodic. It was just the one.
It was going to be episodic.
Oh, sorry, that's right. Yeah, it was going to be, and then it just didn't really do very well. So
yeah.
So, if this is this a sequel, or can I play this? Like, because I haven't played any of the other ones.
I would.
It's pretty.
There's
to go back, right? Yeah.
Because I never played 999. I just played Virtue Last Reward. I just caught up on that, so I know like 999, since it is super old, since it originally came out on DS, it is a little bit rougher.
2010 or something like that. Yeah. Which I mean. By the way, and I'll talk about this later, but I'm playing a second game right now because it was on sale, and I just got my Vita back, and I'll talk about that again later. But the first game, 9 hours, was it?
9 doors, 9 hours, 9
persons, 9 persons, 9 hours.
Yeah, persons.
Yeah. Was just amazing, just incredible. Like, it's one of my favorite games of that time. It was just this really cool escape the room sort of a puzzler type thing. So yes, it's good. They're all very, very good games.
They're super short too, because I want to say probably like the first one is probably even shorter. I know the second one is like 12 to 15 hours, and then I think they said that the newest one is like 15 or 20 if you do everything like jumping around in the timeline. So super short, and they're tight little experiences. I think I'm about halfway, and I'm super enjoying it. It is like, obviously, like in sequels, you hope that they kind of make a better version of the game that was so great in the first place. And it definitely appears to be that way with Zero Time Dilemma. It's just much tighter. There's not a lot of kind of lollygagging in the start, which there is in Virtue's Last Reward, which Liam will talk about, I'm sure. But it's just a great and tight experience. And then the other big thing that I have been playing is the Technomancer, which is the hit of the summer.
God, this game is like hot garbage.
It's so interesting. It's just the most interesting game, I'll tell you.
It hasn't been hard to get through, but it hasn't been compelling me to play. Because I played Bound by Flame. I enjoyed Bound by Flame. I definitely enjoyed it more than I have with my time with Technomancer. Because it was like a Dragon Age-esque game, but it did have kind of an interesting...
Oh, that's right, yeah. Is it by Spiders?
Yeah. So, Bound by Flame was pretty darn similar to Dragon Age, but it did have an interesting story of like you being possessed by like this fire demon, and you kind of making these interesting decisions whether to like embrace the demon inside or to like embrace your humanity, and that did have different effects on like your companions, the story, and it was fun to play. Like I said, it was kind of like Dragon Age, a little bit of action games like Dark Souls mixed in there. I enjoyed it. It was not a great game. Can't remember if I reviewed it. Maybe. I remember it like 7.5 area. So far with Technomancer, though, it reminds me a lot of Fallout, kind of like Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, but not in the good ways, I guess. If you're a fan of those games, it's just like a super generic RPG. It provides a lot of interesting ideas, but the execution on them are pretty bland. Like your main character, you're kind of like a huge douchebag. Like your main character is just kind of a douchebag, and he's like the least compelling character I've probably played in a long, long time, which is unfortunate. It gives you like some interesting areas, but all the NPCs, all the characters you interact with are pretty atrocious. They're pretty bland. I think in Bound by Flame, like, you did actually have a couple of interesting companions, cause I think I almost wanted to platinum that game just cause there were some interesting companions and you got different trophies from each of your different relationships. But so far in Technomancer, and I'm about, I want to say 15, maybe almost 20 hours in, cause I wanted to do all the side quests.
That is mental. Well done. I played an hour of it and I couldn't stand it. Well,
it's just it's bland. I do like the combat. There's like 3 different styles of combat. One of them is, I forget the name, but you've seen it in all the trailers. It's like where you have essentially a staff and you're kind of like Darth Maul, essentially. Combat is, you can't just kind of like hack and slash and beat up bad guys. You do have to like dodge and kind of, you'll die a lot because I've died a bunch and I'm playing on normal too. So you do have to kind of like,
the combat is easily the best part of the game. From what I have played anyway. Kind of definitely, it's got some cool ideas. Like, I've got some things to say about this, but I'll get you to your end bit.
But yeah, overall it's just such a bland experience. I was not like, this was not a highly anticipated game, but...
Oh god, no, yeah, but...
But my experiences with Bound by Flame, I was expecting a little bit more, but... I don't know, it just reminds me of like all kind of like the parts of Fallout that I hate the most, kind of just like the bland repetition and like the pointless. So far the gear has been pretty pointless. There hasn't been like a huge difference in any of the gear that I've found, and the side quests are mostly just fetch quests. There's nothing really that exciting about the side stuff, and it's just, your character's just like this douchebag, and it's like you're supposed to be like this kind of like noble protector who's like uses his powers for good and like
a Jedi. Your whole order is essentially a whole bunch of Jedis, but they are called Technomancers, basically.
Yeah, and they're all called, like, I would be Kevin Mancer, and I think that's so silly, like the naming conventions of the game, because like
really?
There's like rogues there, and it's like I would be Kevin Rogue, and it's just like there's just some silly stuff. It's not a bad game because I think most sites have given it like 6 or so, which is where I'm at.
No, that's the thing. I don't think it's a bad game at all. I think what is fascinating about seeing a game of this scope and scale and apparent ambition being done by such a smaller team, it kind of makes you realize how much extra work has to go into all the big open world RPGs, or a big scale RPGs that we know and love. So it's kind of fascinating. You kind of start to root for the underdog a little bit. Like, I wanted this game to be, it's all right, it's all good. I am still trying to get through The Witcher 3 right now, so that doesn't help things at all, because it's just like, it's like if I have to choose between my time, But it's like being in a time machine, honestly. It's like, imagine, Evan, the first Mass Effect in all its Apachiness, and sort of, it wasn't quite there yet, but instead of all the cool story bits and the characters, it has none of that. It reminds me of, like when I was a teenager, like 14 or something, I was really into tabletop RPGs. I was just starting to write, and you would have to create all your bios and things like that for your characters and kind of do their sheets and things like that. You'd have to imagine all the all the backstories and things like that. And then you'd always get these games ruined by someone in the room who just has no imagination and just comes up with the most cliche, horrible ideas. And that's this game. It's all of them. It's all of them all in the same pile. What's the name, Kev, of the main character? Zachariah? Is it?
Yeah.
Rogue was my surname as well. It's just like a Zachariah Rogue. I mean, what the fuck name is that? It's just that everything he says is awful. It's all exposition and plot and backstory, and that was all in like the first hour that I played. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna hit pause on this for a little bit, you know, and just see where I can, if I can, ever play this again. It's weird and kind of charming in its own way though, because it's so trying to be like a really big AAA game, and you have to admire it for that. And it has got some cool ideas in it as well, but it's just like, man.
Yeah, it's just it does feel like, because like Bound by Flame was a much different experience overall, and it does feel like they tried to size up a little bit too much in their ambitions. You can feel that because like the game, not that it feels heartless, but it just feels a little bit empty in comparison to some of the. I don't think that Bound by Flame was by any means like the best game when it came out in, I want to say 2014. But you know, I have some pretty positive thoughts about it overall, and compared to this game where I'm going to unfortunately have to finish it so I can get a review up, but after that I never want to think about it again, probably, unless something drastically different changes in the last.
I think all the scores for it as well have been completely fair. It kind of tends to be a 6 out of 10 or in that kind of mark, and that this is like a really good version of that score in this game. It's good, it's alright, it's just there, it's just kind of, it's fine. It isn't offensively bad or anything like that. If you really want to just, if you've got no other games to play for whatever dumb reason, if you're poor, for example, and some cool bastard gives you this game, then you'll be fine, but there's just other options out there, you know.
Yeah, it might be a just fine game for like $20 when it's on sale inevitably, and then you might get a little bit more worth out of it, maybe. But yeah, it's
I can't moan again though, because thank you, Kev, for all the freeness.
Yeah, it just looked so uninspired that I was never really interested, like at all.
Yeah.
Well, it's inspired by a lot, but it's inspired by almost too much. Like,
yeah, it's the jack of all trades, master of none type stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Because it reminds you of like I said, like Fallout, like Mass Effect, like Liam said, like Star Wars, like a little bit of like almost like Mad Max / like Chronicles of Riddick stuff in there. It's just like
I said, it's like when I
threw
was
everything at
a teenager and you have all these influences on your sleeve and you just don't know what to do with it yet because you haven't quite got your own voice, so you just sort of start to steal bits from everything else, and sort of it just comes off as really cliche and a bit shallow, which is a shame.
Yep.
Yeah.
And anything else you've been up to, Kev, past that?
No, I think that's about it. I tried to start Resident Evil Revelations 2 again. I got about to the same part where I stopped playing last time, which is unfortunate. I don't know. It's just I don't think I could play that game. I don't know. I just don't like it. Because I played through like the first. I downloaded all the chapters this time.
Have you not played any of the other games, by the way, Kev? Have you like kind of played 4 or 5 or like even earlier?
Yeah, I played all. I played all those.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I think
I was
about talking to someone else who hadn't, and they had tried that out for the first time. The Revelations 2, and they kind of found it quite hard to get into. But yeah, that's fine. Anyway.
Yeah, no. Because I played the first time I played it was when it came out. I played through like the first half where you're playing as Claire, and I got to the Barry part, and I stopped playing. This time I played with Barry for 10-15 minutes, but I don't know, it just did not keep my interest enough. I got distracted obviously with all these other new games, but it's I don't know. I talked about it when the first episode initially came out, just because Evil Within came out, I want to say 3, because I think that was October. Then I want to say this came out that December, January, I want to say, for the first episode.
But it was very close to each other, yeah.
Yeah, and I just, because I really did enjoy Evil Within. The story obviously ended up not being the best, but overall, atmosphere, the way the game played, like, I enjoyed all of that, and it felt better overall compared to how I felt about Revelations 2. And I think a lot of those same feelings, even though I'm so far removed, I thought I would be able to enjoy it more now, but I think it's just a lot of those same feelings.
It's just a house name at the moment. I think everyone's still plays video games because of the brand of the name of the thing attached to it. They haven't. It's been a long time since they've made a really good game, and you know, Revelations 2 is meant to be a really good one, or at least like a high point since 4. You know, kind of maybe, like, you know, they kind of got it right and they went back to being a bit scary and a little bit more intense. It's still a bit of bollocks, to be honest, so, yeah.
And yeah, I just hate the companion stuff. That's like one of the things that bothers me the most. Cause the first Revelations I played on 3DS, and even though I was playing on a tiny screen, cause I'm pretty sure that's before I even had the XL 3DS, I'm pretty sure I played that on the original 3DS on that tiny screen.
I think it's the size of a stamp, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that game was still super terrifying, the first Revelations when you're on the ship. There's some points where you're fighting like these gorilla zombie monster things that I can't remember exactly, but I don't know, just like jumping to Revelations 2 where you have this dumb companion who's always walking around with you and they don't really interact. They're just kind of there and it's kind of pointless, but you need that other person to interact with like some items and kind of like help you. It's just, I don't know, not kind of like the Resident Evil experience
that you're really looking for.
Yeah, that I want. Maybe if I played co-op with someone, that might make it a little bit better, but I don't want to play Resident Evil co-op. That's not exactly what I want from a Resident Evil experience.
If you are going to have a co-op character, also not a co-op character, or just, you know, a companion that is always there throughout you, that's just, and it's a zombie game, it's going to invoke The Last of Us as well, which is harmful because Resident Evil is just awful in every other way when you compare it to something like that. So, yeah. Didn't really do itself any favours. I don't know whether we'll kind of see that series again, or that little offshoot, but we'll see. Evan, I'm sorry. What have you been up to? Because I know you've been away on vacation and stuff. What have you been doing?
Yep, so I was gone for like 4 days or something. I brought my Vita with me, of course. And I put some serious time into Persona 4. I think on that save profile that I was playing on, because I had started on a friend's Vita, because I was like, I really want to play Persona. And then I was like, I liked it. I mean, because I knew I already liked it before, because I had played it before mine was stolen years ago in the great tragedy that was. And I was like, playing that, I had got like almost 9 hours on that, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna buy my own Vita, because GameStop was having some weird sale thing. I traded in a bunch of old games, and I got like $150. So I got a Vita for like almost nothing. And then I had to start over, so I gotta skip through all like kind of the intro stuff where people are just talking for like 4 hours straight. So I was like 4 hours deep, and I was just doing all the stuff to save Yukiko, and then I went away, and I was like, I don't have much else to do. So I put like another like solid 8 hours in while I was gone, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot when you're on a vacation with family, just to play there, and everyone looks at you weird because you're not like that. So I saved Yukiko, and then I got into like another kind of section where they give you a bunch of other shit that you can do now, and I've been trying to read all the books I can, and hanging out with all the people, get all the social links up, and Persona 4 is so much fun. It makes me even more excited for 5 being like this huge leap in like technology, since Persona 4 Golden's like a PS2 port, and we're skipping PS3 and going straight to PS4 with Persona 5. Oh man, I'm so excited for that to come out, and it's still so far away.
Yeah, I think I've talked about it previously. Like, I'm in the same boat. Like, I've started Persona a couple of times on Vita. The last time I started, like, I want to say it was the third time I tried to play. I did get a little bit further. I got like 7 or 8 hours in when it was like starting to get definitely a lot more engaging, when you were dungeon crawling a lot more. There was a lot more stuff, but I put it down because I probably got distracted by something else. So I don't know if I'll play before Persona 5 comes out. Maybe if there's kind of like a lull and I don't have anything to play, but that's not likely. I might just jump into 5 and kind of have that be my big Persona introduction, but I'm not sure yet.
I don't even know what it is about it. Cause like, yeah, the dungeon crawling stuff, that's fine or whatever. But like, for me, all the social stuff is like way more fun. Like, you know, cause the dungeon crawling stuff is pretty like par for the course for JRPGs of like, alright, take your turns. Here, look, you got a new sword. Here, you got your moves. And like, collecting personas is fun and stuff. And it's fun to mix them and match them and kind of build your little social rank with what you're crafting persona-wise to get like all the bonus XP. But like, that I do that stuff because I kind of have to, whereas like the social stuff I go out and hang out with everybody just because I like them as characters, and it's super fun. And like as you meet more people and your kind of life gets more complicated with like, oh, you joined a club, you got to do that on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays, so you can't hang out with anybody or go dungeon crawling those days. And then you get like a ton after you pass Yukiko's dungeon, so like 10-ish hours, 15 I don't know if you're taking your time. Then you get like you get the kind of access to another like 5 or 6 social like links things when you start to hang out with Nanako and Dojima and stuff, and they're like, you get the Justice this, and then you can hang out with Marie as well. So everything just gets super complicated. People start calling you after school, like, let's hang out today, and you're like, I can't, I got shit to do. And they're like, oh, now that person's sad, and you're like, son of a bitch. So yeah, I can't wait to see what changes with like kind of the more access to power we have with 5, because I've already seen some of the videos and stuff where like the streets and the school hallways are way more populated with people, which is awesome since it's kind of barren in Persona 4 Golden. You're like in this small town, so I guess that kind of makes sense. Then you like walk through the school hallway and there's like 3 kids. You're like, the hell is everybody?
And maybe that's one of the things, because I don't think I got to the point where I was getting fully into the social stuff yet either. So that's probably why I was probably just missing that hook of like being fully invested. I was probably right on the cusp of it because I was still in obviously like that first dungeon. I don't remember how many floors deep I was yet, but I was getting super close. But probably because I was not very deep yet in that social stuff, I was still in the early going ons. So that's probably why I couldn't fully get invested. But it's there for a rainy day. But I don't know. I'm tempted to just wait until 5 comes out here and just use that as my introduction.
Yeah, it just sucks that it's so far away. You could import one if you really wanted to, but it's not going to have English, or you're just going to have to... That's really going to kill like a huge portion of the game, at least for me. But, I mean, I'd say if you hit that summer drought and you got nothing else to play, then I'd say go for it. Especially because it's a Vita, you just chill, lay on the couch, watch TV or something while you're gaming out, which is always rad.
Yeah, I want to say I started playing it when I was still watching X-Files, so that was like the perfect.
All right, 8 hours, here we go.
Yep. So I think it was like the perfect game to go with that.
But aside from that, now that I am home, the Overwatch competitive mode is out now, which because I had been, I've been playing Overwatch on and off since it came out pretty frequently, like a little bit almost every day. But it was never more than like 2 hours just because there's like so many other things I want to play. Like, I could sit there and play all day and just, like, listen to podcasts or watch TV on, like, my second screen or something, but it was, like, it still at some point started to feel like, I wasn't working towards much except for cool loot crates, which is fun but not compelling enough that I'm going to sit there for 8 hours and play like I would something else. And so it was just, like, I was just kept playing because I was like, I just want to practice with, try and get time in with every hero, because when competitive comes out, I do plan on, like, hitting it pretty hard. And it came out while I was away, so that was great. I didn't know it was coming out. They're like, guess what, it's out now? And I was like, mother, I'm fucking missing it right now. So I got home yesterday around noon, and I was like, I'll hop in and give her a shot, because I didn't really know much about it, because they kept saying, no, we're going to change some stuff, because we didn't like how it was in the beta. So I downloaded the patch, I hopped in, I was like, yep, okay, and then I sat there for like almost 5 hours and played straight. I was like, shit, like just having that little amount of like, hey, look, we looked at how good you're playing and now you have a skill rating. Whether it be high or low, I'm still constantly just checking that out and be like, alright, I just dropped. Son of a bitch, I need to go back up. And people seem to be really, at least on PC, trying to go more, communicate more and kind of coordinate our attacks more. Because, it does kind of have some stakes now, instead of just quick play being like, I'm shooting guns, and then the game ends like 5 minutes later. Whereas, even in this, they have kind of the round by round, so it goes, 20, 25, maybe 30 minutes, depending on, if you go like beat for beat on Control, it'll be like the best of 5 rounds. So it can go back and forth for a while, which is pretty nice too, since, it is nice to have 7-9 minute games, but, every once in a while, I want to duke it out for like a half hour.
Yeah.
So with that, yeah, I've been going pretty hard on that, and it has been a blast. I want those golden guns, but it's going to take a fucking eternity to get any of those.
How do you get that? I saw those pop up because I haven't played Overwatch. I played like the first 15 hours after the game came out, but I have not touched it since. So I've watched some of the updates, but how do you get those?
Basically, how it works is after each competitive game, if you win, you'll get a competitive, like, skill point thing. It's these purple little, it's just another currency you get. And if you get 300 of those, you can purchase the golden gun for a character. So it's gonna take fucking forever, because I've played, 6 hours of competitive. I've won, 8 games out of, I think about 20 that I've played. So it is no slouch. I thought it was going to be, you get this certain skill ranking in a season and you get it. But it kind of makes sense because, not everybody's going to hit, 75 or something. I don't even think I'll ever hit that because it's so 50-50. Like, my entire stat page is like, wins, losses are almost exactly 50%, and it's kind of coasting that same way in competitive already. So having it just be like, if you just play a fuckload, eventually you'll get it, kind of makes more sense just to not exclude people that, aren't going to hit that amazing, godlike, gold tier competitive ranking. I haven't seen any in the wild yet. I don't think I will for a while. That's a lot.
That's one of the things that I talked about. Maybe I would enjoy competitive now that
it's great, yeah.
Because that's one of my things that there wasn't, not that there wasn't progression, but there wasn't any, I don't know, there wasn't those extra layers
the
of
bullshit, all the bullshit layers.
So.
The XP, the shiny numbers that don't mean anything. It's just, yeah. No, it's good.
It's fun, though. That's fucking all games, really, if we want to break it down. It's just dumb, shiny stuff. You're like, cool, I got a new sword. Yeah. It's the same way in Overwatch, where it's like, cool, I got
costume
a new
or
skin or a new rank or something.
I've still got to play Overwatch. I really, really want to, but also, I don't know if I've got the time. But, Kev, have you not gone back into it yet, or you haven't got any interest in it yet?
No, not since. I played the first, 15 hours. I played for 15 hours when it first came out, and then I don't know what came out after that. That's when I still was dabbling in Battleborn a little bit, but I haven't touched that. And then I don't know, just other games. Like I said, there wasn't anything super compelling me to keep going back and playing it, especially since no one else was. I want to say people were playing, but they weren't. We never got together and did big events playing together on PS4 at least. So kind of that took away a little bit from it as well. Yeah. Probably where if we had played together, that might have added some extra layers. Even my other buddy, Josh, who I always play with, even he and I never played, even though we kind of both played here and there. So, not my thing. I enjoyed it. It is a great game, but not my cup of tea at this point.
That's fair. Sorry, I completely missed the Persona 4 talk as well, and the Overwatch talk. I had to restart my computer. I'm very sorry. Yeah, what else did you play, Evan, or was that it?
So past that, nope, not since I got back. I did play the first hour of Inside, which is Playdead's new game. It's been 6 years. They made Limbo, which is kind of pretty universally, acclaimed as a pretty fucking dope kind of ambient, thematic, 2D side-scroller puzzle game with that infamous ending. And apparently this one gets pretty fucking wacky, too, near the end. At least that's what Jeremy said.
No, I can't trust Jeremy as far as we can fucking throw him. Although, because he's got those dreadlocks, you could throw him quite far if you swung him about, And he's like a big, hipster dude who's quite thin, he hasn't got much meat on the bones. Anyway, yes, we could throw him.
It's real windy where he lives, too, so you could just kind of put the string on him like a kite.
He's also a wimp, so I can't trust him when it comes to whether things are emotional or whether, things can really get to me like that. So, we'll see. Fucking Jeremy.
It definitely has, Playdead they're really good at nailing that kind of, not only tone, but just the atmosphere of the game. It is supremely
Is that because
creepy.
They've gone for the same tone and atmosphere?
I don't think it's quite the same.
I'm only joking. It only looks as they kind of started off this kind of trend of this kind of small indie game with a child protagonist in some kind of danger who's had trauma maybe and has escaped into a fantasy land. They kind of started off that little niche and it's run away with them. But it looks very familiar, but from what I understand, especially from what Jeremy has said, even though, as we said, we can't trust him, it is quite different.
Yeah, because I definitely want to play it. Like I mentioned, I'll have to borrow my brother's Xbox, like I did for Quantum Break. But overall, I've stayed away from obviously reading actual reviews, but just the general feelings overall is that it is a phenomenal game. So I will be excited for it. Really enjoyed Limbo, so I don't see why I won't enjoy this game, especially since pretty nice praise overall from everyone.
Yeah, extremely good praise, I think.
Yeah, getting 10s and 5 out of 5s, kind of left and right.
Yeah, Jeremy gave it a 9.5 as well. So even though for about 10 minutes I got the score wrong on the site, so it was a 7 for a little bit, but it is actually a 9.5. Yeah, so one day when I have an Xbox, which I almost bought very, very closely the other day, there's got this neat a pile of games that I can get to at some point. I know there's a PC as well, obviously, but whatever.
Liam, don't worry about it. When September hits and I get that new graphics card, I'll just ship you mine.
I'll pay for all the shipping. Serious. I'll pay for all the shipping, everything. But yeah.
You paid the shipping and then send me back some Lucozade. Is that orange energy drink?
Wow, I'm literally drinking that right now, son.
No way.
Yeah,
I want some.
Lucozade.
Yeah, send me that, and I'll send you my.
I like that. This is a common as energy drink. That
I don't think it's that common. I just for whatever.
No.
reason,
but like here, it's like whatever. Yeah. Like it's just.
It's like drinking Monster here or something. Like it's immediately recognizable.
Which I also have on the table. It's just like I clearly need to drink.
I'm drinking one right now too.
Better. Yeah.
The Chaos Monster is the best one.
Oh, I always go for the green one. The green energy.
Just the standard one.
Just the standard one's fine. Yeah.
God, no, that tastes like radioactive piss.
Well, yeah, that's why it's anyway.
But inside. It's fairly short as far as I can tell. Like I could probably sit down right now and beat it in like 2 hours, which I might do. But it kind of has that same limbo-ness where you have no idea what's happening. It opens almost exactly the same of like, there's no introduction. It just says like inside, press something to play. Play, and then you are this nameless kid in a red shirt or small man, I'm not sure. And you kind of slide down the side of a hill. And then you just kind of start walking, and eventually, as you kind of keep moving, these kind of dudes in the background will show up, and they have, like, flashlights and guns. And if they see you, all of a sudden you're in, like, a chase sequence, and they're trying to follow you, and you gotta, like, if you trip over a stick, they'll come up and get you.
Yeah.
So you gotta, like, make sure you're jumping, and blah, blah, and there's, like, attack dogs, which will always move faster than you, so you have to, like, climb up something, or dive into the water and swim down underneath.
So it's more of a stealth game, you'd say, like.
Yeah, they have, like, some straight up, like, here's a moving light in the background, and here's a pillar. Run out and hide behind it, and wait for it to pass, and then run out again.
See, that's interesting, because with a Limbo, I was saying before, it looks very similar, blah, blah, blah. Well, actually, the entire experience of Limbo was going to the next part of the game.
It's a very lonely single-person game. I mean, that still happens in this. There's still puzzles that will fuck you up.
Oh, no, of course, but you would have to almost kind of fail in Limbo to see where the traps were and to see the gore and to see the horrible, horrible gore. But yeah, you would have to fail in order to see how to, kind of get to the next bit. But that's interesting in that it is a bit different.
And it still kind of works like that. Like, I've had a couple times where I was like, I don't understand what's happening, and I would, like, kind of just get killed twice, maybe 3 times, and then be like, oh, okay, and then I turn off this and do that, and that.
Is there a spider?
Not yet. Okay. There might be a giant mechanical spider, because it is this kind of dystopian, future-esque, like, weird. You see kind of normal people, and they are not zombies, but in that kind of state, where they're just like, bleh, you're like, oh, this is just a body, it's not, there's not really anything going on behind the eyes. And there's like even a section where you fall through the floor, and there's like a line of them going by, and you fall into the line, and then you have to like kind of mimic what everybody's doing and walk, because this big robot thing's staring at you because you just kind of moved like weird one time once you fell down and knocked somebody out of line. So you have to like kind of mimic, and then you see like in this kind of orange square painted on the floor, once the people walk into that, the people in that, when the line stops, like jump. And so like you go down the line, then all of a sudden you're in that. You're like, oh wait, gotta wait for everyone to stop moving and jump, like kind of just mimic until you get far enough to where like you see like a window, and then you have to just break into a sprint, and then all the dogs follow you and you jump out the window.
Oh, well that sounds quite exciting, which Limbo
really
wasn't
good.
Really.
Yeah, Limbo is that kind of somber, feeling.
It's very nice.
It was still awesome.
Actually, it isn't very nice. It's a very good game, but it is very, obviously it sounds very different.
And it has that kind of same feeling of like, not only do I not know what's going on, but in this one, it's not like horror or anything, but there's a thrillerness, like when you're like, okay, I'm walking, here's a fence, okay. It's, because in Limbo, you get chased by stuff sometimes, but for the most part, you're kind of just moseying around and doing puzzles and stuff. Where in this, you're like, I'm just cruising, oh my god, 3 dogs. And like, they're always going to be faster than you. So I had to like, in one section, climb over a fence, and then they would, as soon as I did that, they would run, back into the 3D space, and then go around the corner to come to me, and I'd have to run forward and pull a board off a door. But I could only do it one at a time until I had to climb back over before they brutally murdered me, and then go back over and rip off another board, like one at a time.
Interesting.
And so there is like this like chase thriller, like I'm not welcome here feeling. Where I was a couple times where I was like, audibly like, that son of a bitch. Like, it's not frightening, but it is kind of heart pounding at times. But I'm really liking it, though. It's really interesting. I'm really curious to see what is actually going on in this place. What are the implications, and what is the inevitably ambiguous ending?
Oh, I was going to say, is it going to actually explain any of that? Or not even explain, is it going to give you any sort of hint or a road to pull yourself towards?
Not play Dead's way, man.
Yeah, exactly. We're super opaque and mysterious, and you'll have to figure out for yourself. And we actually haven't got any answers of our own anyway, so it's fine. But yeah, cool, man. Nice one. It's again, it seems to be getting a ton of praise. So yeah.
Yeah, you could probably pick it up on PC, although I think it wants to have you, for whatever reason, it has a recommended 8 gigabytes of RAM. I don't know why, but that's quite a bit for this kind of game.
It is. Like, we'll see. Like, I think we were talking off air about the chance of, much like their previous game, which came to all the platforms imaginable, basically. So hopefully that'll happen again. But yeah, we just don't know. For right now, it's Xbox and soon a PC, right? It isn't kind of right now.
It's just about a week away.
A week away. Cool.
It'll be on Steam. Really rad, though. I'll probably, after this, hop in and play some more. Probably finish it. I don't think I've really been playing anything else. I played Metal Gear Rising Revengeance before I left. Caught that on sale on Steam.
Dude, yeah, I just caught that on sale. Not on Steam, though, on my PS3. And I've not played it, though. But it was only
it's really fun.
$4, I believe it would convert as. It was really, really cheap. Yeah, they just, honestly, if you go onto the PS3 store, they're just giving away games. They just don't fucking care anymore. Yeah, it's great though. If there was kind of one game you never quite got around to, which for me is this game, like, I think it's worth keeping a hold of your PS3 sometimes, because it's fine. But yeah, I can't wait to play that at some point. But yeah, I've only ever heard good things. So
it's just super fun. It's super, over the top and insane. Like, it's almost the craziest Metal Gear game. Just on sheer, look, it's cyborgs, and okay, now you are running down the side of a building as it explodes. Yeah. Just because he runs real fast, and that means that you can just defy gravity entirely.
That still makes more sense than word diseases in 5.
I was gonna say, right,
it wasn't even words, it was like sound.
Sound disease, whatever.
I am more in the mood to play this now. I wasn't when it came out originally, because I had heard it was good even then, but I'm like a huge Metal Gear fan, and this has the name, but obviously it's completely different, and it's like, whatever. I'm not attached to Raiden. It isn't a stealth game. It's this whole other thing that I'm not interested in. But then we had the 5th game, which was really cool, but just as silly. So do you know what I mean? Like, so I think I'm more in the right headspace now to have some craziness, because it does look mental, that game. Like, really, really stupid stuff happens in that. But,
yeah. And it's got, like, a blade mode thing, essentially. It's like, for whatever reason, so Raiden's a cyborg, and he needs these weird electrolyte thingies from other cyborgs to keep, like, his body working. Like, he has, like, metabolism.
It's the dumbest.
And so,
thing, yes.
Yeah, it's stupid, but it's great.
Yeah.
And so you're, like, hacking people apart, and you're like, alright, I'm, drinking the juice or whatever. And if you kind of pop up and pull a left trigger, he kind of, like, time will slow down, and he just, like, draws his sword out, and you get, like, the chance to just kind of fucking hack away at something, like, wildly. Yeah. And it's kind of how you, like, take armor off bosses and stuff, too. And you can set it up to even where you use the stick, and you just kind of, like the weird Dead Island, like, controls where, I don't even know what to call it. But it's just, completely insane, like, the entire way through. Raiden gets, like, his arms ripped off at one point, he gets, like, his jaw blown off, he gets, like, his eye poked out. And he gets, like, another cyber upgrade, even more cyborg than before.
Yeah.
And it's really fun. Like, even the story isn't terrible. Like, I've been paying attention, and it's not bad. Like, it's enough to pay attention.
It was a game that was stuck in hell for years and years. They had that tech where, like you said, Evan, you could cut up all the environment, but it made, like, for a really cool tech demo, which they actually did show off, and it did look cool. But that's all the game really was. It didn't have anything else to the bones in it. And then they went to Platinum Games, and they added their twist on it, which is all this zaniness. And it sounds like, that was obviously to its benefit, right? Because they, it's got his tongue-in-cheek. It's hard to hate on a game or to kind of feel bad towards it when it's just having clearly a lot of fun.
Yep, that's exactly what it feels like. And it is, like, kind of serious in the way that Metal Gear is serious.
Yeah.
It's not serious. It's like, all right, there's this African governor, mayor guy, and oh no, big cyborg man stole him. Now chase him through the streets. Oh no, for whatever reason, out of the ocean, a Metal Gear that is huge shows up. Now fight it on a rooftop. All right, now cut its wing off and then do like a hop up after it shows up again and again because it just won't die. And then you like run up that clock tower I was telling you about that blows up. Okay, run down and dodge rockets as they come at you. And then jump down and land on its head and then run your sword from like head to tail and cut it directly in half.
Oh, it's just, you know...
And then it explodes and you're like, fucking shit, that was awesome.
It lets you do the things that... Did you play a fourth game, the Guns of the Patriots? Yeah. And you had some of the best cutscenes in that game was Raiden just going hell for leather on these awesome robots, just cutting them to pieces, doing all kinds of cool stuff. And it was a weird thing to see a game actually where you can do all of that stuff that you admired back then, but just, have it be gameplay. It's insane.
Yeah, it's super rad, yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Like, I don't think really anything else is coming out soon that I care about aside from I Am Setsuna, which is 2 weeks away. And I feel like there was something else at the end of this month, but I can't remember for the life of me.
Obviously, we're getting into August, almost a month away from like No Man's Sky, Deus Ex. So,
yeah,
some good games.
It's gonna be good.
July, I think, will be the slowest month, but I'm not sure. I think so.
It's fine. It's fine because I just bought a new Vita, so that is dandy by me. I can just spend and
Tell us all about it. Tell us all about it, Liam. Tell us about your new purchase.
I wanted to get my Vita because I had lost my old one, my OLED. No idea where it went. I genuinely don't know what happened to it. I think I was in town one day and kind of maybe I left it somewhere. I don't know. But it had on, I have bought so many games for the Vita because they're often on a sale and they're quite cheap and you can just kind of do it without really thinking about it. And I went on the PlayStation store, on the site rather, and I had a look at what I'd like, and it was just maybe about 60 games that I just had never touched, never played, and I was like, and when I lost it, it was at a time when I kind of wasn't really playing it much anyway, so I was weighing up the options whether it's good to get a Vita or I was on the verge of getting an Xbox One. Super glad though, I've got the Slim, so nice to hold and to feel this, the weight of it is
I love it.
So much better. Like with the OLED, and my hands start to cramp a little bit if you hold it too long. It's like a bit too chunky or whatever.
That's how I always felt too. It was like I would lay down on my back and kind of hold it up, and like after a half hour, it was like
it kind of stings, right?
It's just it sounds like the most douchey thing to say. Like this little controller thing is too heavy. I can't lay on my back and play games. It sounds retarded to say that out loud, but it is. Like
I don't care.
Taxing.
All right, it was a chore. It was like whatever, yeah. But here, this is. I've got it in my hands now. Super nice. Anyway, so I got the Slim. And I don't regret that because I've got all the games that I didn't kind of play before, up to and including Virtue's Last Reward, which Kev was talking about earlier. That's really good. I'm kind of getting into that in a really, really big way. Odin's Sphere, and I can't say the next bit. Lufrazer. And did you play it originally on the PS2, Evan?
Nope, I had never heard of this game until this kind of remaster was coming out.
Yeah, I had only played it a little bit on the kind of PS2, and it's just maybe one of the best looking games I've seen as well for a while. It's just so gorgeous. It's this to explain, like, 'cause I've only played like the kind of movie again the first hour of it today. Actually, I kind of got it and was just admiring it. It's like a 2D side-scrolling RPG / a fighter almost, and it's just so gorgeous. Did you play Dragon's Crown? Was it called on the Vita?
Yeah.
Dragon's Crown, very much like that. I think it's by the same people. So yeah, that's been a ton of fun. But I haven't played a whole lot of that yet, so there's not too much I can say about that. And there's a sale on at the moment in the UK for a Japan games, so they're all dirt cheap. So I've just been buying lots of RPGs, like Trails of Cold Sky. I played Adescaya 4. There's like some Final Fantasy games, just all sorts that I know I won't have time to play, and I probably won't ever get around to. But it's just really, really dumb of me. But whatever. But yeah, no, it's just nice sometimes to have the Vita just to go up to bed and chill out with. I've missed that, and
no, that's what was great about being away is I would just go sit on like the dock overlooking this gorgeous lake. And I'd be like, and I got my Vita, fuck it.
Yeah, tune out all of it.
I had this nice kind of wind, blowing around, and the kind of nice gentle lap of the waves hitting the beach, and then just be like, I need to work on these social links, and then sit there and be like, all right, cool. Yeah, it was awesome. The Vita's kick-ass, and I wish that it was more in the limelight like it deserves.
Like, it kind of feels like an actual adult gadget as well. It's not like cheap and flimsy like I often find the 3DS to be. Like, that has always been more of a toy to me, which is nice, which is fine, which is cool. But this feels like when I'm holding it and when I'm like, it's really, really like a cool console. I just wish I only got mine at the first time last year. Like almost.
It turns heads too. Like especially I have the blue one, so it's really bright blue.
Yeah, and they're like,
and it thing turns heads. Yeah, people are like, what is that? Is that some weird phone 3DS thing?
Is that a sidekick?
Yeah, you look. If I press the screen, a keyboard flips out. But yeah, it's like seriously, I play my Vita more than I play my PS4 at this point. And that's not to say that PS4 is bad. It's just I have a lot of shit to play on, so that's my own fault. But like, yeah, I like the Vita because it is like, especially for me, I have a desk chair that's not awful, but it's not great, and I have back issues, so I don't necessarily want to sit at my desk all the time to have to play games.
Yeah.
So I could just go kick my feet up in my in my bed, on the couch, wherever. And it's just, it's a nice little getaway from my desk staring at two giant screens all day, getting blasted with radiation or whatever.
And with me, like, being a dad, obviously, and having a young kid all the time and doing all the stuff around the house, like, I don't actually get a lot of time in front of a TV on the PS4 or, whatever. And if I'm at my computer, I kind of feel like I've got to be doing work rather than sort of a gaming, so that is out as well. With, the Vita, I can play the type of games that I used to, like, when I was a bit younger. Maybe these were kind of big, long, epic RPGs that I loved as a kid, but I just can't play anymore. Now I can, because I can just play a little bit here, a little bit there, and it's just nice. It's nice, yeah. But yeah, I there have been other games, but I just tired, ill, and I was in the hospital last night, so I'm just like, no.
Yeah, how are you? You bleeding out still?
No, I've been fine. For the benefit of the listeners, my spleen sort of died on me a little bit last night. I was being...
It puttered out. It was
Yeah, no, I've had enough of being functional. So I was sick a lot, and then it got kind of a bit gory, and then it turned out to be, my spleen was, a little bit iffy. But I'm fine now. I'm just on quite a lot of medication, which actually feels lovely. It feels great. So, I haven't played anything properly. I haven't got my teeth stuck into anything, really. I've just been playing a bit of here, there, and everywhere. So, we'll kind of see if that changes in the next week.
Yep, I was looking at the releases for this month, and there is some stuff coming out, for sure.
What's that, then? Anything that jumps out at you?
The Banished Saga 2 comes out on PS4 in a couple days.
No, thank you.
If anybody's interested in that. They're giving it away free on Xbox. I don't know anything about it. I don't really care.
Nope. Other games that may be doing things that better.
Let's see. Inside will come to PC, and then Hawken comes out on Xbox One and PS4, if anybody cares. Ooh. It's not the worst game ever, but it's not particularly great. Killstrain is coming out for PS Plus members, apparently, according to this. Mobile Suit Gundam Extreme versus Force will come to Vita, which I'm pretty stoked on, just because Gundam is cool and Vita games are cool. Let's see, Song of the Deep, that Insomniac game. I don't know if that's going to be good, though. Like, I don't really know much about it. Is it going to be fun, Kev? Let me know.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like $14, so I'm...
Yeah, it's that.
Yeah, it's Insomniac. They know fun.
Insomniac, we know fun.
Well, yeah, exactly. Dear Insomniac, here's a catchphrase. Please hire me.
It's like this, side kind of, not side.
It's like a Metroidvania.
Yeah, it's like a Rayman game where you're kind of Ori and the Blind Forest exploring. You're like a diver in a little ship.
Yeah, you're like this lady looking for sea treasure or something. I don't know.
Sea treasure.
I'm always in the mood for like a good platformer every once in a while, and I haven't played I haven't played one in a while, so I think I'll be in the mood for it, and hopefully it is a good one.
Yeah, we'll see what I'm happy they're putting it out so that they can work fully on Spider-Man and not disappoint me. After that...
Yeah, I'm just going through this list.
Ghostbusters?
It is a quiet month. Jeez, yeah.
Yeah, I skipped that. There's like a lot of games, but like nothing anymore.
Well, yeah, no, like I said, I don't mean to say any of these games are bad, although some of them do look pretty awful. It's just more that I don't know them, I've got no awareness of them, and they sound quite niche in their own little thing.
Chimbara? Is that part of the Oni Chimbara series?
That's what I was thinking, yeah. Not sure. Yeah.
We'll also have Necropolis, which I am really looking forward to.
What's that again, Evan? I completely spaced.
I know it's on Steam. I think it's coming to PS4, but I'm not entirely sure. It's like a third-person action game that has procedurally generated dungeons and like permadeath, so it's like it's a roguelike-ish where
yeah, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, you'll run in and be like, all right, cool, and then I'm dead. All right, time to start over. It's very polygonal looking, like it's got a very interesting art style, which I think looks pretty rad. It was supposed to come out like March or something this year, and then they just pushed it to summer, and then they finally said July 12th it'll be on Steam. But yeah, you'll be like, killing stuff. Oh, he dropped a sword I want to use. I'll pick that up and use that. And I think it has co-op to some degree, because at least the trailer shows like two people hacking at stuff. But yeah, it's $30 on Steam. I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's good. I hope it doesn't disappoint, or I'll be sad.
Right.
After that, like a week later, we have I Am Setsuna, which, Liam, I think you would really like. It's out on Vita in Japan, but I did no word on if it's coming here. I know it's coming to PS4. I know that.
Yeah, July the 19th. Yeah,
it
says here in the EU. I'm not part of it anymore. And
you still
America.
count for now.
Yeah, exactly. For 2 years, yeah.
But yeah, it seriously looks like Chrono Trigger.
Oh, yeah. I'm just kind of googling it now. Really.
Yeah, it looks pretty rad. I'm very excited for that to come out.
Yeah, because I do also need another JRPG on the Vita. I so desperately now. I just bought 4 this morning, but it does look really cool though. Yeah.
There's a little sequence where you see an airship, and I was like, "Hells yeah!"
Interesting, cool. All right, nice one.
Let's see. So that's the 19th. After that, nothing. So.
Oh, and apparently Chimbara is unrelated to Oni Chimbara.
Oh, really?
It's a split-screen multiplayer stealth and combat game of hide and seek that takes place in a hall of silhouettes, and it actually, like from the screenshot I'm looking at,
that looks great.
It looks like that episode of Samurai Jack where he's fighting.
Oh, the white and black ninja.
So that's what it looks like.
That's one of the best scenes in fight scenes in TV media. That is one of the best.
Yeah, so that's what the game looks like. It's like that, but multiplayer, which you use like stealth and you use shadows and light to hide. So
I don't even see this game on the list I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's July 26th, PlayStation 4, Xbox One. That's interesting. I might look into that. Play with my brother, maybe.
It sounds kind of cool. That's pretty much it for July. August kind of kicks back up into games, which kind of sucks. There's not really a lot of break this year. Especially because the games that do come out are these fucking 80-hour JRPGs. So
that's the thing. We're going to have like 2 months of it being a bit quiet and stuff like that. Like, and we always say there's too many games. We've got to catch up. Like, this is the time. It's cool. Like, Yeah,
this is the time, and then Steam's like, hey, look, a bunch of games are basically we're giving them away, and I'm like, yeah, I'll buy the Dead Space series and Fear and Max Payne. That's
the thing. In
games.
The 2 quiet months that we're supposed to be in right now, I think I have bought more games than I would normally, which is ridiculous. So it doesn't really work out sometimes.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. That's how they get you.
Yeah, the sales, man. The fucking sales.
Let's roll out. Rolling. That, I don't know.
I'm so tired.
Whoever sings that song. Yeah, it's real late for you.
Too much morphine. It's
But didn't you wake up from a nap like 2 hours ago?
Yeah, no, because of my spleen, I was in a bit of pain, so I took some more morphine. Went for a nap.
Giving you morphine.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
Well, it was super bad. It really, really hurt.
If I was gonna be a drug addict, that would be
that would be totally the way to go. But it is also.
It's all that Brexit money that is funding Liam's morphine. All that, what is it, 330 million you're getting every month now?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how you gotta pay for your morphine.
I forget, because when I say that, they just gave me a morphine. Yeah, that is a novel thing for you guys, but yeah, I guess I should be more grateful that we get a paid health service and all that for now. Anyway, but yeah, no, just in quite a bit of pain and 20 to 4. So when I was trying to think of things to say about my games that I play, I was like, nope, nothing's coming to mind. Nope, just
because Liam's been high as fuck.
Oh, so high,
so high,
yeah, so
many drugs. All right, well, we're gonna take off. We're gonna head out, go relax, and enjoy some time with our families.
My bed, yeah.
Liam's bed. I'm gonna probably finish inside and eat some Chinese food. Okay. See you next week. Goodbye.